Hello CBSE 10. I come here with two short poems from Robert Frost included in your syllabus. First one is Dust of Snow and the second one is Fire and Ice. Now these two are very short in length apparently, but don't go by the length. They are immensely philosophical poems with lots of symbols and imagery, and it shows how precisely through use of proper symbols and figures of speech, you can always express something great and something very deep and somber. Okay. The first one, Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had viewed. The entire poem is almost like a sentence, a single sentence. Okay, so it is as if the poet is trying to share a particular moment of his day, which he was initially spending in a depressed, frustrated mood, and all of a sudden there is an upliftment of his mood. Now, what is the cause of this upliftment? You see, there is mention of a crow and some dust of snow. Okay. Now the crow comes and sits on the hemlock tree, and as soon as it sits, the pressure on the tree, which is which is covered with snow, dust of snow, the snow immediately showers down. And where was the poet standing? He was just below the tree. And as soon as this fine dust, these fine dusts of snow, they fall on the poet. At once there's a change of mood and there is boosting up of his mind, and he really says that, well, because I have this mood upliftment, the entire process of showering of the snow by the crow has really saved his day from getting ruined, in the entire day getting ruined. He has already spent half a day in a very frustrated way, but after this, his day is changed and he lives a good day. Okay. Now, the interesting fact about this poem is this mood upliftment is done by a crow, not by a nightingale's song, not by a lyre, a skylark, not by any songbird, so as to say. Uh, it's a crow. Usually, it is. It has a repulsive look. Most of us in the society, we don't consider crow to be a very beautiful bird, although it's a bird of great necessity. We all know that it's called the sweeper bird. Okay, because whatever dirt and waste is there, it just sweeps away everything. But here we see Robert Frost giving a special position to the crow. Usually, poets they try to glorify beautiful looking birds or songbirds, and so many poems have been written glorifying them. Okay, to a skylark by P.B. Shelley, uh, to the Skylark by William Wordsworth. Then there are plenty. Okay, the Nightingale, Ode to a Nightingale. So these are poems which have always given a feeling that these birds are to be glorified. And Robert Frost walks on a different track altogether. He glorifies the crow, and he also glorifies the hemlock tree. Now, a hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. Okay, it has small white flowers, but it's a poisonous tree. So usually, again, you won't find hemlock tree described in poems. Okay, there may be laburnum tree, there can be a banyan tree, there can be any other tree, but not a hemlock tree usually in the poem. But here he points this out that the dust of snow that falls is from a poison tree. Is from a poisonous tree. Okay. So the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, it comes and changes the mood. And who is the harbinger of this change? The crow. Okay. And in this way, it has saved him from spending the rest of the day in regret or in a depressed mood. Now let us dive deep into the analysis of the poem. The first stanza and the second stanza, you will find there is a change in the mood, and this is done by a tonal shift. Tonal, tonal, that is shift in the tone. Now, this tonal shift, you realize that in the initial stage, his heart was all full of, you know, worries, anxieties, and those negative thoughts. This negativity changes into a very spriteful time and spiteful day. So this tonal shift can be noticed. Now there are usually you'll find Robert Frost's poems are very rich in figures of speech. Here also this poem, short poem though, yet it is full of poetic devices. First of all, dust of snow. This itself, the title itself is a metaphor. Okay, the snowflakes are compared to dust. You know what a metaphor is? It is an implied comparison between two objects of different species. So here, dust and snowflakes. Okay, they are compared. So metaphor. Then we come to next, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow. The crow is given a personal quality. So it is personified over here. All right. Then we come to irony. All right. Now, usually hemlock tree, uh, the crow, these objects are negative objects considered to be symbol of negativity, but they are creating a positive mood. So this itself is an irony over here. All right. And then the entire poem is an example of enjambment. You know what an enjambment is? It's a run on line where the line ends but the sentence doesn't end. All right. So the way a crow shook down on me, etc., etc., and it goes and ends in the last line, and then you can find a full stop. So a very good example of enjambment. All right. Then there are symbols widely used here. Crow is a symbol of usual symbol of negativity, but here it works as a positive symbol. Dust of snow again is a symbol of purity. You know, the whiteness, the sereneness. If you look at anything which is snow filled, covered with snow, you will feel a very serene moment in your life. So, dust of snow is a symbol of purity and redemption. Okay, which is in turn created within the mind of the poet. Okay. There are examples of assonance. Assonance is when you found when you can find recurring vowel sounds in a line. You take the second line, for instance, shook down on me. So double O and then again down O. Then you have O in the word down. You have O in the word on. So assonance. Okay. Um, So more or less, these are the words that you come across. All right. I mean the figures of speech and the choice of words and the kind of um, words that he has not only chosen but also placed them in such a way that it draws the attention of the reader. And we appreciate this short poem in a wonderful way. Okay. Now I switch over to the second poem by Robert Frost, Fire and Ice. Now this also is a very short one, having only two stanzas. Let me first read it. Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favored fire. But if I had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great, and etc. So again, a very serene and somber and philosophical poem. Fire and ice, they are symbolic of, or they represent two, you could say, flaws in human character. Two types of flaws, rather. Okay, desire, greed, lust. These are represented by fire, and ice represents coldness of feeling, hatred, obstinacy, and rigidity.